Chris, Rob and I both agree that Alec Baldwin is ahead to win this year, but you think that Steve Carell could actually pull off an upset, right? For Best Comedy Actor.
I do, and it's probably wishful thinking. I've been picking Steve Carell every year, hoping he would finally break through. And I think he's so beloved in Hollywood. Everybody seems to like him. He has chosen, once again, I think, a very good episode called Broke, which he also directed. And it's got some nice heartwarming moments. It's got some real laugh out loud moments. But unlike some of these other categories, I'm not, 100% standing my ground on this one. I totally admit that the Alec Baldwin episode is very funny and very slapstick and might just be what the Emmy voters are looking for. But I'm just holding out hope that they'll pick Steve Carell this time.
Come on, Chris. Yeah. Last year, Steve Carell had a 1-hour episode that had all of those elements you're talking about. It was funny and poignant and sad. He was actually empathetic, too, because he was in love on the Ferris wheel and all that kind of stuff. But he didn't win, even with a 1-hour episode. So, Rob, straighten us out here. Why is Alec going to take home the gold then?
Well, again, he's on the show of the moment. He's Alec Baldwin. He really does carry the show. I think he's the best actor on the show. He's pretty good in this. He plays 2 roles again. He plays that generalissimo guy, and plus he plays his own Jack Donaghy. But, look, he's probably going to win. I don't have enough guts like Chris does to put Steve first. I really want to, though, because Steve Carell is excellent in his episode as well. But I just have a feeling that maybe his time has passed. He couldn't win before when Ricky Gervais won, in that big surprise win. And when he went up there and even got the Emmy from Stephen Colbert and I've forgotten his name now.
Jon Stewart, yeah.
Jon Stewart. But I just think that Alec Baldwin is probably going to win, really. No one else in the category really comes close to the top 2 as well. So it's really between those 2, I think. Although I really enjoyed, can you believe it, Tony Shalhoub, which I was just dreading that I had to sit through. But I really enjoyed.
Why? What did he submit?
Yeah. He submitted, I don't even remember the name of the episode, but he submitted this episode where he was really good. Chris doesn't agree with me, but I thought he was actually really funny.
No. This episode.
He was funny.
How many nominations has he had now? 5, 6?
150.
This was the single worst submission he has ever made.
Really?
It felt like a Sally Field, I give up, somebody else take it submission.
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
No, it was horrible. Well, it probably had you crying at the end, like all these other episodes had.
Probably.
The one that I would like to see step through here, if Steve Carell could not, though, is Jim Parsons. He chose the best episode of the season for Big Bang Theory. He doesn't have a ton of screen time, but neither did Alec Baldwin last year. Alec Baldwin basically had one big 3 or 4 minute scene that just wowed everybody. But Jim Parsons is extremely funny in his episode when he is on camera. Yeah. And he is kind of the hot actor of the moment. I mean, I could see him walking away with this trophy if there's a little bit of a split between Baldwin and Carell, or even just the sense that people want to vote for something new, somebody new that they haven't voted for before.
I apologise. I completely forgot about Jim Parsons. I don't know how, because I'm the biggest fanboy on the planet for him. But there has been no more goodwill for anybody else in the whole industry this season other than him, more than him. Like, everyone loves him. Everyone's been behind him getting a nomination. He's really good in this episode. Chris and I both thought this was his best episode. He picked it, and he's excellent. If they want to vote for someone new and Steve Carell is out and Alec Baldwin is last year's news, then he might sneak through. So really, sorry, I completely forgot about him. It is a 3-horse race, but I do think he's coming 3rd for the time being. We know that Jermaine Clement is probably 7th or 6th or whatever the last place is, because he's... I know, I'm very sorry to say. It would be so good to see him win. He'd be hilarious.
Absolutely.
He'd stand there and stare at the audience, and then he'd just walk off. But, look, it's Alec Baldwin again. It's going to be boring. Sorry, boring. Alec Baldwin.
And Charlie Sheen should just stay at home. He has no chance this year. This guy stars in the #1 rated comedy on TV. It's nominated every year.
It's a top 10 show now.
And now it's, and he can't, he's no hope, right?
No.
I've got him in 4th place. I think he actually submitted a good episode. I think there are some other issues going on with Charlie that might keep voters from voting for him. I mean, he's not maybe the most likable person in Hollywood. But you and I, all of us know that scenes where characters go see psychiatrists or sometimes bait for Emmy voters, and he does get to see Jane Lynch as his shrink here in this episode a little bit. So he's got an outside shot, like you said, Tom. He is on the number 1 rated comedy, but it's going to be hard for him to get around Baldwin, Carell, and Parsons here.
Yeah, and also I think 2.5 Men is probably falling off the radar. Holland Taylor didn't get her usual perennial nomination this year. Conchata Ferrell didn't get one. Only John Cryer did. By the way, I think John Cryer, we're not talking about that category, but I think he has a shot. And if anyone's going to win from 2.5 Men, hopefully maybe it might be him. But Charlie Sheen, this category is too hard for Charlie Sheen to overcome.
And we have to point out that 2.5 Men was not nominated for Comedy Series this year.
Right.
So that's very telling as well.